Bermuda.
I'm Phil.
And today we're playing Shadowrun, and Warren will fill us in on the recap.
Over to you, Warren.
If you would be so kind.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I think is when we last played.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you guys remember what you had to do last week, for various reasons, all of you hadn't. Well, some of you had met before, but the majority of you were just strangers to each other. You headed over to a bar called the Four Roses to meet with a potential contact who had been passing out information to the various people in the know, and just around the Redmond area, that he was looking for some low-key runners who weren't asking for much and were looking for a fairly easy run. So you guys all decided to go for whatever money issues you all had. When you got there, he gave you a job to look for a old friend of his, a guy by the name of Marcus Renslow, or also known as Shells. Thinking about it a bit, you guys had heard of him suddenly a bit, or at least Tex had, and he realized this job was a bit more than it seemed, because this guy was a heavy hitter in the past that had basically completely dropped off the radar for the better part of a year, and whatever he'd been doing back now was interesting anyway. Thaddeus just told you he was an old friend from his days before he became a middle management wage slave for Boeing, and that he was fairly addicted to a whole bunch of drugs, including like Cram and Novacoke, and that basically he thinks he stole whatever personal data he had to try and like pawn it to someone for some new and to get a fix, basically. But he inadvertently took a lot of personal data and nothing really of value from Thaddeus, at least that's what Thaddeus told you. And so he just basically wants the data back. And he's willing to pay you, I think it's 3.2 you agreed upon, each to get the data back, and made you promise not to kill Shells himself. So you guys followed up on this lead, had a few unnecessary fights, a few random encounters in various coffin hotels or motels, and eventually ended up meeting a guy that calls himself Merlin, who you figured out is the leader of a street gang. He's basically a slumlord, but he's got ties to Humanus, which is basically like a human supremacy group who hates metahumans. So Kevin Tyndall, or Merlin as he told you, made an agreement that he was also looking for Shells, and that he had come around, sniffing around a while ago, but he'd sent him away because he had nothing of value. And he gave you a bit of information about where he is, and then he asked you to look for him as well, because apparently he needs him for something now. But it turns out that Merlin seems to have pulled a more or less a fast one on you guys, and sent you something on more or less of a wild goose chase down into the sewers, where it was presumed Shells went to ground, but when you got down there, his astral trace went cold, and you were met by a bunch of Merlin's guys who tried to, off you, basically. A fight ensued, in which various people were shot in various orifices and chopped in half. And that's where we left off. So, you guys were in the sewers, the power exchange place. What do you want to do?
So there was a guy who contacted us, like, as soon as he busted through the door, they said something, right?
As soon as they busted through the door, they basically just said, they'd never work with, like, non-metahumans in various colourful terms, and, they sent you down here to kill you, basically.
So they have I assume they have a compad on them, right, with Merlin's number on it?
Yeah,
They all
at the
had
end
comlinks.
of last session, I gave one of their comlinks to Kix.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, then, are they like, locked in any way, or is it just like anyone can use it?
The contact details are encrypted.
Okay, I asked Kix if she could decrypt them for us.
You don't even have to ask. I'm working on it.
Yep. So if you want to go ahead and attempt to do that, then it's basically just standard fare. You need to get what's called a mark on it. Okay. So the way to do that is you can either attempt to sleaze your way into it or attack it with with various actions. So, I mean, I don't know what you had set up as your favored way of doing this. Let me see.
I don't even know. Like, are the two different methods based off of different stats?
Yes. Basically, the attack action is kind of like brute forcing something, whereas the sleaze is like cleverly doing things. So one uses cyber combat, whereas the other uses like hacking. So whichever one you're better at.
Yeah, my hacking is much better.
Okay. So you'll probably want to do a hack on the fly then.
Yep, I actually have like a specialty in that or whatever.
Yep. So a hack on the fly is your hacking plus logic. Okay.
User was moved to your channel.
Yo,
Hello.
Hello.
sorry about that. Do I sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good.
Basically, the meat is just trying to hack a comm device, and that's all that's really happened. So you haven't missed much.
Okay, so you succeed and you get a mark on the comlink system. And now you need to find the contact details file. So that is basically just a quick matrix perception.
Matrix perception?
Yes, which is your computer plus intuition. To try and find the hidden contact details.
Okay. I don't think I have a button for that, do I? I'd have to like put actual numbers in, yeah?
Yeah, you can just click the Shadowrun thing. So for you, that's like 6 plus 4, basically. So 10.
I don't have a button.
If you if you like select your token and then click.
Oh god, that's
Shadowrun.
why I didn't have the buttons. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Already rusty.
Then you'll have 10 dice, basically. Okay. Yep. That was supposed to be probably, but yeah, you get it. Okay, so you found the folders where contact details are kept, but as I said, they're encrypted, so you'll need to crack the file, which is hacking plus logic. And hope there's no data bomb on it, which is very unlikely.
She can actually ask if there's a data bomb on it. I think
I
she
know.
got so many.
But let's be honest, Aaron, do you actually think there's a data bomb on the random dude's comlink?
There could be.
Mm-hmm.
You're never paranoid enough about data bombs.
So is that just for breaking the encryption, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. The hacking plus logic.
Yep, so you decrypt the file and you get a large list of contacts, about maybe 100. Most of them seem to be various, other members of Merlin's gang, the dude's parents, ex-girlfriends, things like that. But one of them is just simply called the boss. So you now have Merlin's contact details.
Now we can prank call him.
Well, whatever you want to do, you have his details, it's up to you.
Can we use that phone that we hacked? Or can we use that phone to ring him?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I guess I ask if I can use the phone.
Tex says maybe we shouldn't blow our cover so quickly. He thinks we're about to be dead, so if we give him a call, that might not be the best
Exactly.
move.
My idea was that we call him from this phone, pretending to be this guy. I got this really useful voice modulator, just impersonate the guy's voice. Call him saying, "Job's done, guys are dead." You know, like make a joke about, haha, they had a central decker, you ever seen one of those before? Type situation. And then ask him what to do now.
I don't know how your voice modulator works, but do you kind of have to maybe sort of remember how the guy sounded in order to set it up correctly, and do you think you can do that?
He did speak, so if you do a memory test and succeed on it, you can remember kind of how to do talk and maybe put on his accent.
Okay, memory being... It's on the sheet, isn't it?
Yeah,
somewhere?
it's on the sheet, yeah.
Tex says, how good are you at impersonations? And then Tex is actually going to do an impersonation of she. Is she a human?
Elf.
Elf.
It's like a Valley Girls accent. Hey, how are you?
I guess I would then try to match Tex's skill by trying to impersonate Tex. Poorly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Tex is a lot better than you.
I
do
am
memory test.
Tex.
There you go.
Okay, so you kind of remember what he sounds like if you want Tex to try and remember what he sounds like, because he only spoke like one sentence.
Yeah, I guess.
But it was
I'll
a
do
fairly long one, so...
Tex, if you don't mind.
You can actually roll 2 additional dice because he can assist you in the memory thing by like speaking a bit of what the guy sounded like. So, okay, so with 2, you can kind of remember what he sounded like, but there is going to be a negative applied to your impersonation because you don't have the tones exactly correctly. It's kind of generic.
The guy was a human?
Yep,
I
they're
heard?
all humans. Yes.
Okay, well, I have a specialization in humans, so I think it's worth it.
Okay. So if you want to call him up, you can try.
Yeah, Tex will give him a call.
Okay, well, the negative penalty, because you can only sort of remember what he sounded like, is a -4 to dice, so just remember that. Okay, so do you want to call him up then?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so you call him up on the comm link, and he just, the same voice of Merlin comes back over the line. Well.
Job's done, boss.
Okay, roll impersonation.
A fine job.
Nice.
What do you roll against that again for impersonation?
I think it's, fuck.
Shadowrun.
Wouldn't it be perception?
I think it's perception, yeah. Audio perception, specifically.
Okay.
I think it might be judge intentions.
I can make some loud noises in the background of one of my drones.
Okay, so
That'll
he
help.
says... He just sort of pauses for a moment as if he's judging something. He says, "Good. Gather the gear and bring it to me. I expect you in 10 minutes."
Be there soon. And I hang up.
Okay. So he believes you're dead.
At least we think he believes we're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Say, Kix, you think you could hack his comlink since you know his comm code? Think you can find it in the Matrix?
Merlin's?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get a time to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Thank you, Aaron. I wanted to suggest that, but my character's far too dumb.
Okay, so you know his comlink. Let me see. Would he have to do a matrix search or a trace icon? That's an interesting question.
I think Matrix perception, even.
Yeah, that's
And
possible.
then use the comm code as the one piece of information you're looking for?
Ah,
The
yes.
comm code number?
Yeah, that's correct, actually.
Yeah.
So you can make a computer plus intuition again.
Oh, computer plus intuition.
You gotta do that one a lot. Very common in the Matrix.
Like, and there's not something I can click, right? It's or like if I click my computer roll, do I add my intuition to the thing that pops up, or like?
Unfortunately, if
That's
you
the way I
click
do.
computer, it will probably use your logic.
Yes, you can actually just change it if you want to. See where the drop-down box says
Yeah,
logic.
okay.
If you change that to intuition, then click the thing, it'll work fine. So
It will add them together, or
yes, it will add your
Okay.
intuition and your computer.
You almost never use logic with computer anyway. I'm not even sure why it's the default.
Yeah.
well, I fucked this up.
You can use Edge to reroll failures if you want to.
Actually, Matrix perceptions are okay to fuck up because you can try again with no penalty normally.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, okay.
And, well, saying normally is correct, except if you're trying to matrix search something that's very prominent, then continually trying to look for them can alert certain things, but because this is like literally just a random slumlord, I very sincerely doubt he has the kind of tracing programs that will find you just for searching for him.
Hmm.
So you can just try again if you want to, yeah. And again. Every one of these is like a test, so it takes you a few minutes to like do it. So
Here we go.
okay. Okay, so you do indeed find his particular device, but you can tell immediately as you're tracing it back through the matrix that it is slaved to a far more large system that's defending it. So it immediately blocks you when you attempt to get straight directly to his device.
Well, that's the end of that, folks.
So you can tell it's bound to a host of some kind.
Maybe he's got a decker friend.
He's just the tip of the iceberg, that's all.
Well, you could go for the host as well, but because you're like a couple meters away from it, there's going to be noise. It's on like a different. Well, you know, you're in the red environment, so the closer you are to it, the better chance you have of hacking because you'll have less negative dice from all the background noise and shit.
If we can actually get a hold of the comlink, you can plug your brain directly into it and ignore the host entirely.
Yeah, if you can get a hold of his comlink, yeah.
Well, we haven't really got a trail on shells here, have we? Because it's just disappeared, so
No, this
we're
is
just in the dark.
dead end.
Got nothing better to do then than head back to that.
You do know that Shells went to Merlin, and he's the last person that has any like directly informed you that he saw him. So, besides Thaddeus.
If we turn up, speak to Merlin, show him what we did to his goons, maybe he'll rethink his position on what he thinks of us.
I don't think we change deep-rooted hatred of metahumans just by killing his friends.
Giant is surprisingly wise, man.
His intuition is high.
I've dealt with a lot of racism in my life. Being a giant.
Poor little giant.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
the
we
one
can
thing you
sneak
can
in there.
remember.
Maybe we could infiltrate his little place.
It's
Shadowrun goes.
possible, or we draw him out, get him alone. But this be difficult, I imagine.
Yeah, I did notice that he seemed to be aware of you guys when I was first talking to him, so I think he picked us up on camera there, so we probably want to approach a little more carefully.
How good am I at sneaking? I've completely forgotten.
Or, Kix, maybe you could hack his cameras before we get on site.
That's an idea. You could
him
also see how powerful the host is.
Well, I know a few contacts in the gang world. I bet one of them wouldn't mind trying to take over his turf. If we offer a nearby gang the turf, they might come and aid us in this. Get some more troops, as it to be, if we want to go guns blazing.
Do you want to level the place? I think.
Gee, do you remember what happened in slums earlier? You start
things
fight,
happened.
it's not end pretty.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe we could infiltrate in there and just get Shells out of there with, as little noise as possible.
Well, that's if Shells is there.
That's true, but
I think we should just get closer, because we can't do much from here.
We
So
need
we
a
go-
plan
start
before
going back
we go,
towards-
though. He saw us last time. It cannot happen again.
So stop the next street over and see what happens.
This sounds good.
Guess
I
you wanna
also
go
got this little kit here I could disguise people with if anybody wants me to make them look differently.
I
You
wrote
make
drone
me
could do
look
for
like
mustache.
normal-sized human.
There's only so much I can do, partner.
I will kneel,
How about
wear
us?
shoes on knees.
Dresses you up as three dwarfs standing on top of you.
This is no good, they hit dwarves as well.
How easy would it be to disguise as a human?
Elves, easy enough. Everybody else, Centaur, very difficult time. Giant, pretty much impossible, and trolls are very difficult.
Well, like I
So-
said, the centaur end up difficult, giant almost impossible.
Because giant is like this massive bulky.
The
fucking
centaur
thing.
is half horse. Just
Throw
saying.
a very
but you
big
can hide
dress.
that behind walls and things.
When
Can't hide
She's on the
giant.
wall moving with her.
I will wait in the car.
when
The Wizard of Oz, please don't look behind the curtain.
when we spoke to him last time, we divulged instantly that we were with a group of metahumans. How about if we disguise a couple of those humans, we go in there, ask for information.
He'll probably recognize us.
I'll put on a mustache. Tex has a mustache I can put on.
Yes,
Probably
because
best
mustaches make you instantly invisible.
I don't
Little
know how
Melon
good
bag.
Tex is at mustache.
Also, your voices. Tex seemed pretty good at throwing his voice, but how good are you? The other two?
I don't have to say anything. I can act like a goon.
Yeah, just pretend like you're really high on something. People won't ask you too many questions.
I could take
Yankee.
some of my drugs.
I like baseball and French fries. Is this good?
Very good, Giant.
Good enough.
Totally thought you were an American.
Giant claps a little bit.
That was a really good Tex impression.
So I'm guessing you guys are leaving the sewers one thing or another, yeah?
Yeah.
I kind of like it here now.
Okay.
We'll make a home for you later here, Giant.
Probably be an upgrade from where he lives now.
Alright, so you guys take a couple of minutes to, 2 or 3 minutes just to crawl your way out of the sewer and back to the manhole you got out of, and this happens. When you finally find your way out of the underbelly of Redmond, crawling yourselves out of who knows what dreck onto the pavement besides the manhole that took you into and out of the darkness, you find a sprawl street a little more lively than you left it heading in, and this is what you see. Yep. Okay, so nearly a dozen well-dressed men greet you, guns in hand, the caustic smog-filled and polluted air of the sprawl billowing around them. Some of them talk quietly amongst themselves, others smoke, some just shoulder their guns or rub their fingers on itchy triggers. All of them go quiet and enter an unmistakable ready stance as tension in the air becomes as palpable as the smell of the foul, dreck-filled air in the sewers, still in your mouths the second they see you. Your first reactions are to slot it and run, and get ready for the bullet storm, but none of them move so much as an inch. They just look you over, and look right back, and you look right back at them. First guess would be Merlin had some heavy hitters as insurance, but a second glance makes that seem unlikely. First of all, you could smell Merlin's boys a mile away, worst of the sewer dreck. Secondly, these guys had metas with them, and no up-and-coming humanist boy like Merlin would have hired up the Keebs and Trogs no matter the situation. Wouldn't want to sour his rep with the uppers. All these guys are well dressed, and unlike most of the slummers you knew, hold their weapons in a way that suggests a lot of familiarity, and their trigger handling suggests an extreme amount of training. Corp immediately comes to mind, but these guys are way too casual for that, and a little too outlandish for a Corp team. Whoever they were, they had the drop on you, however, and more than enough kit to blow you away, so who the frag were they? One of the guys in the back, this guy here, goes up to the car here, wraps a knock on the center car, a heavy-duty, nondescript concealed reg mod on the front, clearly heavily armored and built for speed and bulk. A few seconds later, the back passenger door opens, and a well-dressed and young man, maybe mid-20s at a glance, steps out. This guy here.
A roll knowledge mafia.
In a minute.
Okay.
So he steps out, he straightens his clothes, dusts his shoulders a little, then walks forward from the group like a man who does not request to get what he wants, he simply gets what he wants on a whim. And yeah, he just walks to there. The other guys start flanking him. Okay. The rest of the grunts form a clear defensive ring around him, noticeably more tense than before, with what is obviously their boss around. He looks you over once or twice, a small smile forming on his otherwise stone face. Evening, friends. Seems we have a bit of a mutual interest. Would one of you kindly like to talk with me?
Go for a text.
Yep.
Yeah, Tex steps forward and says, "Sure, I'd be pleased to make your acquaintance. Name's Text."
Okay, so as you approach, like a couple of the grunts in front of them raise what is clearly their heavy-duty assault rifles, but the well-dressed man just sort of shakes his head and makes a placating gesture with his hand, and he says, "No need for that. Let him through. Follow me, if you will." He goes back to the car here, and he steps inside. And
Oh
waits
yeah,
for
get
you.
the fly in there.
You could attempt to get the fly in there.
I'll just land it on this guy's head. He won't notice.
Alright. So, the back of the car is kitted out with what seems to be actual real leather. Various parts of it, is finely decorated, and the core of the entire car screams money, to say the least. He steps inside and starts pouring himself a drink, and he just looks at you and says, "Can I offer you something?"
Whatever you're having would be great.
Alright, so he pours out what appears to be actual, real alcohol, none of the synthetic stuff that you're used to. Then he puts a few ice in it and hands it to you.
Thank you kindly.
Yep. Takes a sip and sort of leans back, looking at you expectantly, waiting for you to take a drink.
Yeah, I'll drink his fancy booze.
Yeah, it actually tastes amazing, like far better than any crap you've ever drank before. Then he just sort of looks you over for a minute and says, "Alright, so I know what you and the rest of your group are after. You've made a bit of a noise around here, and you probably should have been a bit more careful word spreads, especially when you're looking for a man like the one you're looking for. You see, I have a bit of a problem that I need solved. Namely the fact that the man you're looking for is in the captivity of someone I believe you're acquainted with, Mr. Tyndall, also known as Merlin. See, the problem being is my compatriots and I need that man. He has some information that we require, but we can't be seen being the ones taking him quite so easily. Thus, we need a third party to do it. I know you've already been contacted by a dwarf who wants you to recover some sort of personal data. To be frank, I don't really care. What I need you to do is, when you've finally broken in there through whatever means you're going to, and you retrieve Mr. Shells and whatever data you're looking for, I need you to drop him off at a point, at a meeting place just a few blocks away from there, and we'll collect him. I don't expect you to do this for charity. I don't expect you to ask questions. I'm going to offer you all $6,000 apiece to do this, and I will not negotiate on this. And bear in mind, I am not a man that is to be trifled with or deceived in any way. So I expect you'll, take this offer. It's quite a lucrative one, because the consequences of not taking it might be a little more drastic, as my twitchy friends out there show you.
Well, it sounds like a very nice offer, and I'll be happy to share it with my companions. Do you have a way for us to get into contact with you after I speak with all them?
He pops a drawer on the side and takes out what is clearly the lowest rating comlink, basically, and it looks like a throwaway one, and he says, "Use this. It's only got one contact detail in it, mine."
Very well, we'll be in touch.
Okay, so he just, he doesn't even say anymore, he just indicates the door.
I'm not even going to judge intentions, because he didn't lie.
Okay, so the man just comes out of the side of his car again and wraps the side, and then wordlessly, they all start to get into the vehicles, 2 or 3 apiece, and slowly start to drive away.
Yeah, so Giant stalks over to Tex, and he's just like, "Tex, what did man want?"
Yeah, he wants our buddies, Shells.
You're a robot, Harville.
Sort of a good news, bad news situation. Bad news is he wants the Thaddeus's buddy Shells. Good news is he's willing to pay quite a bit for it. And if we tell him no, he's gonna make enemies out of us.
Does not sound like we have much choice. He wants Thaddeus' friend, or he wants his head, like Merlin asked.
Well, he just wants shells.
Works for
Who
me.
knows what he's gonna do with them?
Did
Yeah,
he say
we don't
anything
know.
about? Did he say anything about? I don't know, giving us any sort of help, making sure we're successful?
I didn't get the impression he was very eager to share his resources with us, but I did get this fancy little comlink.
And your
Wow,
breath
looks-
smells like alcohol.
Looks top of the range.
His breath always smells like alcohol.
Hey,
So,
had some nice
roll.
booze in there.
Knowledge Mafia.
Yeah, you can roll knowledge mafia.
I'm pretty sure that was the group that he was hidden for, that he escaped.
Okay, so from your knowledge mafia, you can tell that the way they acted does scream organized crime, but you didn't recognize any of the hitters in the group. So if they were mafia of some kind, they definitely weren't any mafia you know.
Just remember, he was doing contract work for the mafia, right?
Yeah.
Giant feels uncomfortable with this, but if he offered no choice, then I just give a big shrug.
Yeah, I mean, Thaddeus asked us not to hurt him, and technically we're not hurting him. We're just putting him in a specific place at a specific time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seems good to me.
I don't see a problem with that.
I
Besides,
do.
Mr.
Giant's
Fancy
too
Pants.
stupid, so...
Besides,
Can't
Mr. Fancy Pants could be a source of jobs.
Yeah. We
Quick
do
question,
need
when we-
jobs.
When we find Merlin, how are we going to find out where Shells is? My past life I have some experience with getting information we need, but it will not be pretty.
I imagine he is keeping shells at facility we went to earlier. It seemed very secure, locked down.
And if
Yeah,
he's
it
not,
seems like the most likely place. Well, if he's not, then we'll find the information there that tells us where he is.
We can use his comlink. Hicks can do something with it.
Yeah, maybe that host thing he has some information in it.
okay.
Well, let's get going.
Okay, so you're not that far away from the place. It was only a couple of blocks east, if you remember from last time. So it's like only a couple minutes drive or whatever. So what do you guys want to do? Do you just want to go right there? Or do you want to go a block or so away?
Yeah, block away, and then let
Block
Kix
away.
do some video camera surveillance-y things.
Snooping.
Matrix magic.
I'll just put you here. You're not actually like where you look right now, but this is what you remember the facility, and you can do rolls and stuff here. So whatever you guys want to do.
I really should have studied.
I'll astrally project.
Okay, so you want to ask for you to project, yeah?
Mhm.
Okay, so feel free to move your character where you intend to go.
And remember, he is a mage too, so
Yeah.
he could have spirits, watcher spirits, and shit.
Warren, how long has passed since that fight in the sewers?
Like if he has watcher spirits, they've already
more-
spotted you, Ariel.
More than the 10 minutes,
Yeah.
because the guy took up a while talking to you, so
But
Merlin was
if
expecting
he
you
has
to know
watcher
that.
spirits, I would see them as well, right?
You'd have to do an sensing.
Yes.
So if he knows your aura, you just made us, and he knows we're coming.
This is at least 2.0 all over again.
Yeah.
I'm doing sensing around the stuffs.
Give me a second. Yes, you do detect a presence. That is not materialized, but in the astral. That was attempting to hide from you. And it looks like this.
Ooh. That does not look nice.
Where are we, sir?
And it is...
How does one hide in the astral besides
Logic
physical
plus stealth.
barriers?
Yes.
Oh.
And it is constantly zooming around the building, searching every corner every now and then, continues just on a row looking around at things. It seems bored, if spirits can be bored.
Spirits can be bored. Can I sense him?
You can attempt to, yes. Okay.
What's its force?
Okay, so yeah, you can tell its force. It is a Force 3 Spirit of Fire.
Okay. So I'll wait for it to pass by me before I go into the building.
So it's the only one that you can see. So it's zooming around. It goes over to this trash pile here, and then a few
when he goes, I go.
Yeah, it's
to
like
the
a few.
building.
It's a few milliseconds he spends at every corner, but you're moving just as fast, so it doesn't really matter. So you go inside the building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go.
I'll sense the area.
Okay, so you can feel traces of magic all around here, specifically of one person's astral aura, which you presume has to be Merlin's. There's a lot of like mundane ones, at least a couple dozen from what you can tell around the area, and one particularly strong, bright one, which you presume to be Merlin because it's in the same office that you left him last time. There is also one particular thing of interest around these part of the facility over here, Ariel. There is a mana barrier, and a physical one actually. It extends all around these four.
I'll sense it.
It's 2 rooms here. Yeah. Okay,
What's its
so
force?
it is a Force 3.
Okay.
Physical and mana. So it's a ward, basically. Okay, so as you pass it there, spirit comes to look around, so roll to avoid it spotting you.
Logic
some
plus
nice rolls.
sneak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so the spirit turns and looks directly at you. So I will let you use Edge. Oh, no, you can't. You don't have any. Okay.
I don't have any.
Yep, the spirit sees you. And the second it sees you, it immediately disappears.
Okay. I go back to my body.
Okay, yep, go straight back to your body. So you're back there. Yep, the spirit saw you.
Yeah. I tell the rest of the group, Fire Spirit saw me.
Should I, again, I ask, should you want me to contact those gangs I know? Or
For?
making this easier? Because surely he knows we're here right now, right?
You
yeah.
weren't afraid of getting into a fight with the gang, with a bunch of thugs in the building earlier today? Why are you afraid of going in there?
No, I meant like just extra help, you know? I'm gonna reject any help if there is any.
I point at Giant. We have a fucking wall!
Fine. Got a bit like that. Let's go.
I still want to go in there disguised.
You have nobody who really has loyalty enough that would be interested in helping you do this.
Alright, I was more of just going to be like, hey, there's some nice turf here. We're
Yeah,
gonna
but
take it.
this is Union Hill. the turf around here is constantly changing. Like in a week or two from now, it's likely Merlin's gang won't even be here anymore.
Oh,
Because some
okay.
other bigger fish will come have eaten them up or something. It's a constant war zone around here. So I told you
Sorry.
before you came in here that like the mob basically ignores Union Hill because it's such a free for all. No one can pin it down long enough to really give a shit. So it's just left to like the small gangs.
Alright.
Funny thing, I've been saying all this while invisible-ish.
Tex, you say you still want to try disguise up, sneak inside.
Yeah, I think if we make ourselves look like we're part of his gang, maybe they won't immediately shoot at us. Could give us a little advantage.
This sounds like a good idea. Obviously, Giant will wait close by. Avoid cameras this time.
Yeah, about the
Maybe.
cameras.
Yeah. Maybe while I did that, Kix does her thing.
Okay, I'm doing my thing.
Okay. Right. So let me see. Okay. So what grid are you on? That's an interesting question. And
The
actually,
best one.
what
No, I'm
sim are
in
you
middle lifestyle.
Well, what sim? Well, what mode are you going in? Are you going in hot or cold or?
Always hot.
Okay. So that's
Addict.
+2 then to your dice. Are you gonna run silent? You should, because otherwise people are just going to immediately see you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I don't
so
know,
yeah, basically that just cancels out the hot sim thing. It gives you +2, then -2 for running silent. With medium, she'd be on a public grid, would she? Or would she
Yes.
have her own
Local grid, yeah.
local grid?
Local.
Okay.
Which is no penalty.
Then the noise, because you're more than 100 meters away, I think is just -1, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep, but she has a data jack, which will cancel that.
Yeah. Okay, so it's literally just flat altogether.
flat initiative?
No, flat dice. You don't have any plus or negative. It's like literally everything you roll is just whatever it is. There's no like.
But she gets a +2 for hot sim.
Yeah, which is cancelled out, like we said, because she's running silent.
So this is just hacking
that's
she's
right,
rolling.
Yeah. So it's just whatever you roll is what you're rolling, basically. So you jump into hot sim, your body goes limp, and they just kind of like wash over you while you're doing it. While you're in hot sim, you zoom up to what you believe is the host of this building, and it looks like a public repository, because this used to be a public records building, and it seems that when the gangers took it over, they literally just took whatever host was already there. So it's not exactly an intimidating host. Under normal circumstances, it would be pretty open to the public to simply access information. It does have some encrypted files that like the government used for record keeping and taxes and things like that, and it seems they've just they've loaded whatever files they wanted to onto the server anyway. So it's a big looming thing. It literally just looks like a in virtual space. It literally just looks like a Greek temple with like a library symbol on top of it, and it looks dilapidated because the host is like literally ill-maintained and slowly collapsing. So it's not the best host in the world, but it is a host. So if you want to get into the host, you have to first get a mark on it, which is a sleaze or whatever else you want to do to it.
Oh yeah, wait. What?
Hack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought someone was making sort of a Marge Simpson concerned noise.
Yeah. So if you want to do it, it's just a hack on the fly again, I guess.
Boom.
Yes. Okay, so it attempts to stop you. And you do indeed gain a mark.
Awesome.
You're in.
Yeah. So, to enter the host is just a complex action, which you can just do instantly. Yep. So you just enter into the host, yeah. Okay, so you enter inside the host of the public repository, or what was. It's now basically a ganger base, and it looks like you would imagine most public like information service places look. It's got like tons of open files, which are most of them are dated several decades ago and seem to have just been abandoned, things like that. So it's fairly open and things like that. So whatever you want to do is totally up to you. First thing you could probably do is try and get more marks in it, or attempt to, get questions of it. Basically, was it Matrix Perception to ask you questions again? Is it? Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you want to like ask it questions, basically do computer plus int to hack it a bit.
Are there any cameras slaved to the host, Warren?
There are a great number of devices slaved to the host, and none of them are running silently.
Ha!
Okay, give me a
This
second.
almost feels like a trap.
Will just fire.
And because you're in a host that has cameras slaved to it, you have a direct connection to all those cameras right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot ask it anything. The firewall blocks you.
Oh.
Okay.
You can just simply attempt to try again, but every time you're doing this, you're building up a thing called an Overwatch meter.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Perceptions shouldn't actually add to her Overwatch.
I think they do.
Is there data processing actions?
Yeah, it's only attack or slaves actions.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, and defensive rolls, correct. Okay, well that first one blocked you. So it just denied you access to any information. You can just simply attempt to try again if you want to.
I don't even really know what I'd ask at this point, but I mean, if I can control the cameras, I would like.
Yeah, but
knowing
you don't know
what-
which device. Okay, basically you're inside, like, imagine a giant sort of network thing. It's got like a load of other little networks attached to it. You don't know what they are. They're just a bunch of ambiguous icons. Some of them are clearly guns because they literally have a gun icon because the gangers are not great at masking what they mean. But some of them are ambiguous. And they're just like literally bubbles, and you have no idea what those bubbles do until you ask the host what they are, basically.
Oh, so you have to ask things.
Yeah, you could
Okay.
basically just attempt to hack a random bubble, but there's like literally over 100 and something. So
Bubbles.
yeah, but it's the best way I can describe it. They're nodes. Is basically the way I describe it.
Okay. I guess just keep asking until I get an answer. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's just the host knows everything about everything that's slave to it, so it's the easiest way to
Ooh,
gain
even
information.
less success.
Well, it might roll worse. So. Nope, it beats you again. It gives you access denied.
Beep boop beep boop boop.
Other people can feel free to make suggestions if you want to do anything.
Are those
I'll be
fleas
working on
action?
disguises.
Yep, I'm just chilling, keeping our horse safe.
My Little Pony.
I think I'm going to get in the car and put my mind in the drone.
Okay.
Maybe my faith in
actually
Murdoch
need
has
to
been
roll.
rocked as well. Because I go up and I'm like, Murdoch, you said you could put women back together in sewer.
Someone will
What?
come back and fix it later.
Do you promise this?
Things happen. Sometimes they don't.
So I mean, you could. There's a bunch of things you could try. You could attempt to snoop to intercept matrix traffic from targets. Basically, the host and its slave devices are constantly transmitting information between them. Another way to try and learn what a device is when it's bound to a host is just to intercept its traffic to see what it's talking about.
Is she in the host already?
Yes, she got inside. Yeah.
Oh, so she should be able to see all devices.
Yes, she can see all devices, but she doesn't know what they all are. Some of them are obvious, like I said. Like, things that are guns are generally quite obvious, but comlinks and other things are a bit more ambiguous.
Oh,
Is there
So
a
if
way
she matrix perceptions the devices directly, she doesn't have to contend with the host stats?
Yes, you can do that, but like I said, some of them are ambiguous. You can just...
So that might be the fastest way.
Yep. I mean,
If
you
the
can
host is beating you.
Let me see, there's how many guns? 1, 2, 3,
Like,
4.
just matrix perception each thing and say, like, ask, are you a camera? Are you a camera? Are you a camera?
I thought that's what I am doing.
You were asking the host directly for all of its information.
Oh,
basically
okay.
it, yeah.
Okay. So I have to like choose a bubble and then be like, what is this?
Yeah, the bubbles are less good at protecting themselves than the host,
Okay.
which is like specifically built to block counter intrusion.
All right. All right.
When you have a direct connection to something, it has to defend with its own dice.
Yeah.
So it can't borrow the host stats.
I think it
Cameras
wouldn't
have
be.
4 dice, do they?
Most cameras are device trading to super fancy ones are 3.
Okay, so there are basically I'll basically describe you to this. There are 21 icons, which are clearly guns of some sort, okay? There are 8, which are clearly file systems of some sort. there are another 10 which are ambiguous and unknown, and then there's a whole bunch of comlinks and like TVs and things like that.
Probably just do the 10.
Yeah, I thought you said there were like 100 or something.
Oh yeah, there's like loads, but these I'm just giving you the general ones. There's a lot of other useless things which are very obvious, like utility control and things like that.
Yeah, well.
Hack the TV.
Yeah, you could hack the TV and turn it off if you wanted to.
Flush all the toilets.
I'm basically just a
You
poltergeist.
could, actually. You can make it really hot, then really cold.
Yeah, let's convince them it's haunted and they'll leave.
Yeah! That's what we'll do. No, I'll choose one of the 10 like ambiguous bubbles and just.
Yep.
find
They
out what it
basically
is.
display as like a generic sort of interface device. It's a basically off the wall, off the counter like generic device that a lot of Matrix things in Shadowrun use. They don't really describe what they are, what they do, that kind of thing.
Okay, I pick one at random.
Yep. So just go for it. So like you can just I'll just literally roll 1d10.
Oh, whoops.
Okay, so you go for the 10th device, and let's see what's the 10th device. Okay.
I rolled
Yep,
my thing
so-
before you rolled yours.
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter anyway. Okay, so you beat the thing that you were asking, and you can ask it 3 questions.
It's like a genie, okay. What is it?
It has a camera.
Hooray. What's the password?
It has no password. You have direct access to it now.
Okay. Why are hot dogs sold in packages of 10, but the buns are sold in packages of 8?
It does not know.
Okay.
It explodes.
Ask for footage.
No, I'm just gonna like control
The
to
sentence
look.
is false.
So you already have a mark on this because you have a mark on the host, and all the things that are slaved to it automatically gain your mark on it anyway. So if you want to control the device, you need to do an electronic warfare plus intuition to gain control of the camera.
So do I just select intuition from the drop down in my electronic warfare thing and then just
Yes.
roll electronic warfare?
Yes, if it's not already on intuition, yeah.
Okay. No, it wasn't for some reason.
Yep, you gain control of the device, so what do you want to do with it?
I would just like to put, because I think if I like shut it down or whatever, did anything weird, like people might be like, whoa, that's acting funny. But if I just kind of like just pan it over to a place where I know like the rest of our crew are not like standing, so it's just kind of looking in the wrong direction.
Well,
just
you
long
can
enough.
you can literally look through its video feed and see what it's actually looking at.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Voyeur cam number 2. This is one in the bathroom.
Can everyone see that now?
See what now?
Up there.
Nope.
No, it's
Can't
black.
see it. Okay, interesting. How about now?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, cool cars.
Garage. So that's what that camera sees.
Okay, boring. Next camera. Or next bubble.
Okay, well go ahead and roll again.
Yeah.
Matrix is a strange place. You pop bubbles.
It's a public library that was once, well, a public records thing that was once run by the government. They're not exactly intuitive when they design things.
I rolled a d9, so I can't roll 10 again.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's obvious. Okay, so go ahead and try and hack it again with your normal thing. Or, well, gain information on it. Yeah.
Ask my questions.
Okay. Okay, so it appears whatever this thing is, its counter-intrusion measures are a lot stronger and it immediately blocks you.
Okay, moving on to another one.
In fact, I'll just tell you right now, because you already tried to do a lot of stuff with the host and stuff like that, its anti-hacking software was, or auto-soft, whatever you want to call it, was almost as good as the host, if not better.
Wow.
Would we in any way be able to find its location that the item is?
There's a
the
specific
thing?
action for that called trace icon.
Yeah. But whatever it is, it had some above public area sort of defenses. So
Well, I'm not surprised that some of this stuff is.
That could be
Well-guarded.
Merlin's comlink.
Yeah, it's got a decent rating.
okay, we'll go ahead and roll again. You're going for 6 this time.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he had a Decker, that could be the Decker stack.
Yeah, one of the people we fought was a Decker, weren't they? So he's probably got another one.
You need to roll your perception thing, Bruno.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I got a response.
Whatever it is, it's valuable.
Okay, so you do indeed gain a couple of hits on this. You can ask it 4 questions.
First, what is this device?
It is a security door.
Coordinates?
It won't tell you that. You need to trace it.
Oh, alright.
What's your device rating?
2.
Oh, well, I was asking Kex.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's a useful one anyway.
Dex is very good at impersonation. Sounded like Dex to me.
Yeah, what is my device rating?
No, he was
The
asking
door.
the door what its device rating was.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, its device rating is 2.
Mm-hmm.
it just tells you how fancy their security is.
Yeah.
Maybe
There aren't a
ask if
whole
it's
lot of good
locked.
questions you can ask a door.
Ask
Yeah.
if it's locked.
Do you
Status-
open and close?
It is locked and secured. You can ask what the name of the door is, because it's not literally just called door, it has an actual object name inside the
Earl.
picture.
How is the
Brian.
name of it useful?
Because it could indicate where it
Could be
is or what
kitchen
it does.
security door or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, sure. Ask
It
its name.
says holding cell door.
There we go.
But I don't know where it is.
That would be a good
It's
to
Probably
mark it
behind the
and
mana
trace icon.
shield.
You
or
can attempt to
whatever.
trace it now if you want to.
I mean,
That's
You
gonna
gotta
be
mark
useful.
it twice.
Yeah. You need to get another mark on it. You have one, but you'll need to sleaze the door again to do a trace.
okay.
And, you know, it will only roll 4 dice. So,
Okay, so it'll attempt to stop you. It does not stop you. So, you trace it to there, which, as Hariel will remember, is one of the places protected behind the ward barrier.
Surprise.
of course.
But I can't control it, or what? I have to do electronic warfare in order to, like, unlock it or something?
Yep, you can do a control device action to unlock it if you want to, yes. That's electronic warfare plus int.
Here we go.
Do the rest of the team know what I'm doing, or is my body just being like, bleh?
We can
and
all
they
Basically-
don't-
communicate over DNI.
Yeah, and basically everything you've done has only taken like less than a few seconds because when you're in the Matrix, time's passed. It's like a nanoseconds basically.
Yeah. I'm information.
Yeah, she's
Like-
about 30 seconds deep, maybe. At the most.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to electronic warfare to open this door.
Yep. So it's what is it?
Or maybe just unlock the door, don't open it.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in unlock.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
not open.
Be free, shells.
Okay, so the
Run.
status bar indicates the door is now unlocked.
Perfect. Let me ask another bubble.
Okay.
Oh, I have to select bubble. I am just gonna roll a d10, and if any of the numbers I've already had come up, just ignore it.
Well, you had 6, 2, and what?
10. 6, 2, and 10.
Okay, we'll go ahead and try and ask this thing questions. Okay, you can ask it 5 questions.
Okay, identify yourself.
It identifies itself. This one's actually interesting. What was this one?
It's a transgender camera.
You were thinking the exact same thing I was.
This one is a... Yeah, I think this was the funny one. What was it? It's a drinks machine. Yeah, that's it.
It is a drinks machine?
It mixes drinks.
Okay.
It's an auto bar, if you're interested.
We're taking that.
Status...
Offline. It's device rating 1 if you're interested. It's like literally just a fancy blender.
Yeah, I
What
want
was
to
the last
move
drink that
on.
it made?
I didn't even know.
Sex on the beach.
It probably should, as a memory.
What was the account that last paid for a drink? I don't even care.
It's infinite. It's just unlocked for anyone who uses it.
Okay, well, I'll try another bubble.
Kicks, do you alert us to the presence of the machine?
Vital
Key
information, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm stealing that for our apartment, Kicks.
Okay, go ahead and try and get in on this. You get 1 hit on this.
Okay. Yeah, identify device.
Security camera 2.
Yeah. So in order to see its feed, that's electronic warfare, was it?
That is control device, which is electronic warfare plus int, yeah. You succeed.
And I can see...
Do you want to see its feed? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Kix's tail twitches while she's unconscious.
So you see a ugly as hell troll on a floor, chained by actual chains, and he's unconscious in a pool of his own blood.
He's chained up behind a locked door, behind a mana barrier thing. Oh.
Mhm.
He's not some simple junkie. Well...
You know what? Potentially, that thing that you scanned was actually Shell's, like, comms device. Do we really need to get Shells out?
Yeah, because Mafia Dude wants him.
Yeah, like, do you want to cross that Mafia?
It made it pretty clear that if we fail to get him shells, he's not going to be happy with us.
Do you
Okay.
want to...
For the record, the only reason he knew you were looking for him is because you guys dropped a whole bunch of names to a bunch of random people who then sold said information.
Yeah, next
Remember
time
who
we
we
keep
got
our
next,
mouths shut. I don't know. At this point, does anyone want to like bother ringing the mafia man and say that like we've found him, but like I don't really see how that would help. But...
No, it's not going to help.
He said he'd pay us. He offered us no more support than that. You pop more bubbles.
Okay, yeah, more bubbles until I pop them all.
Brian, what weight could a stealth rope for a grappling hook or grapple gun? Like, I guess it could lift me and the 3 other humans, but the giant and Firehead, maybe not, right?
If they go alone, probably.
Like, so if we go up one at a time.
Yeah.
Alright. I say, if we need be, we could get ourselves on the roof. I was up there. So there's a few holes we could drop down into. Get the surprise on them. So we could drop down to the hole nearest. I've got quite a bit of rope. So if we drop down, we could then use the same hole to get back up. But the only problem is whoever's left has to be quick at climbing because there's probably going to be a bunch of guards coming after them.
I can levitate. I can levitate people. Should be faster than climbing.
Well, we could do both, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that considering I know where the
Bear in mind that a spirit did see Amber and then immediately disappeared to tell someone. So.
Yeah. How close? Like, where's the nearest hole to the room? Do you want to roll memory?
Yeah, you can roll memory.
Cool.
In meantime, though, we should see if there are more cameras. We
That
need
roll, yeah.
eyes on all of this place.
You only remember 2 places, and talking it over with Tex and what rooms they saw and what things Amber saw. One of them was over where they were playing cards, if you remember, Aaron, and the other one is somewhere over that public library that was full of discarded books that the dude was smoking in.
That's on the left side of the building,
Yeah.
basically.
A lot of them are on the
cards
left
are
side.
here, and the library's down here.
Correct.
Well, I rolled a 5 if I want to pop bubble number 5. Unless
Yeah, you can go
everyone's
for it.
decided what they want to do now.
I think
Yeah,
we-
Tex is just trying to make his armor jacket look like their gang clothes or whatever, and putting on cosmetics and shit to try to look like one of the gangers he saw inside before. Practicing his voice.
They didn't really have a standard attire, it was just street scum ink, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I'm making my shit look really bad.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your disguise check.
Okay. So I have a disguise kit.
I think that's just 2 extra dice, isn't it?
It's really weird. It says a disguise kit can be used to build a disguise using the building and repairing rules. Add half the threshold of the extended test used to make the disguise as a dice pool bonus to your disguise test to a maximum bonus of 4.
Wow. Talk about complicated and needlessly pointless. I'll just say it gives you +2 as a flat because it would probably work out as something like that anyway. I'll save us all the
Okay,
pointless
yeah.
rolls. Okay, so 6 extra. Alright, so you now look like a pretty shitty ganger.
Great.
I think
Nice work, Tex.
Boom Muta got 3 hits on perceiving number 5, Warren.
Yeah, sorry, I was just about to get that. Yep, you got 1 hit on this, you can ask it 1 question.
Identify.
Public access camera 1.
Okay. This control device.
It beats you. It
Yeah.
rejects your attempts to control it.
What's the deal with trying again, or is that just
You
it's
can
just no?
try again, I think it's -1 dice to do it on the same device.
Okay.
We're on borrowed time, right? Anyway, because Amber was seen.
Well, the dude knows you're coming, so at this point he's very likely organizing some kind of defense. And in fact, on the cameras, while you're doing this, because only a few seconds has passed since the spirit has seen you and things like that, you can see a bunch of dudes closing up the garage entrance for the cars and calling dudes that were inside, and things like that.
Matrix things takes only nanoseconds.
So, is it
Yeah.
really our best situation to continue just trying to look through these cameras, or maybe should we start turning off some guns and start getting in position to get inside?
Well, she goes so quickly, we can be sneaking up, and she can still be pulling cameras.
Yeah, you guys can literally be going now if you want to.
Yeah.